What's up, guys? So we're just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and this is 2017 Petit Lemans. See behind me is all the team trailers, and they are down there below. There's about to be a race that's going to begin. We're going to head down in there and take a look.
No driver behind you making faces is pretty tough. It's a really good track. They came in really takes you in the middle of the corner. Good race with the fans.
The countdown to green continues here on IMSA Radio.
So here we're in pre-race tech, and what they do is basically each team brings their car in. Car's ride height is set. Their entire setup is pretty much complete, so they put it on this scissor lift. They put it in the air, and basically the IMSA officials, they measure the under tray here. As you can see, they measure it for flatness. They measure the wing height relative to the under tray and just make sure it conforms with the rule structure and for the balance performance. So let's take a walk around the paddock here. This is the Audi team with the green mirrors. These are GTD teams. This is the AMG. And we walk around a little bit pretty freely. This is the Huracan here, and the Lexus team as well. They're doing some setup work. Cool thing about these races is you can pretty much walk the paddock. You can take a look at the teams while they're working on the cars. And as you can see, the NSX here, they've got some alignment equipment on, doing some corner balancing. Prototype team here, they're doing the same thing, putting the alignment bars on, kind of getting the car ready according to their data and whatnot to try and be as competitive as they can. So what they're doing here is they're basically creating a parallel box around the vehicle with the use of the front and rear bars, which they support just a simple piece of string. And the string creates a parallel box relative to basically a plane that the car is traveling within. And from those strings, they can measure the front of the wheel to the rear of the wheel, and they can establish the toe. And they do that setup multiple times to try and find the fastest alignment setup for the track that they're on. So here we're going to take a look at the Ford GT team. This car is pretty stripped down. These were designed as race cars to meet this rule structure actually specifically. So you can take a look and see that it's a pretty raw race car with all the panels off. It's a pretty mean machine. I take a look at the actual Ford GT here later in the video. So as you can see, Corvette Racing, they always have quite a presence, and this guy's smoking his pipe, waiting for the one of the other race series with Petit Lemans. This is actually the day before the race that I was shooting a lot of this, and so they have some other races that go on. It varies from basically each event. So a race is about to take place here, and we'll take a look at that. So with the Continental Tire Series, these cars are a little bit closer to their factory counterparts. It is multi-class racing. It's just as exciting basically as the WeatherTech Series, but the cars are just a little bit more, I don't want to say basic, but less modified. And so now we're going to grab a spot on the fence, and they are coming down the straightaway. these other races tend to be pretty short sprint races. So aside from that, you'll see a lot of the WeatherTech cars. They do qualifying the day before, go through various setups, do a lot of basically testing. So here we go back to the Michelin area. Now Michelin is the tire sponsor for the WeatherTech series, I believe, for most of the classes. So Michelin will actually handle most of the mounting and balancing here, well, I should say all of it. And, you know, through this series, they race these tires, they abuse them with a lot of miles, and they learn a lot about, you know, developing various compounds and things like that, which lead to their consumer line of products. And so that's what we're seeing here.
Part is you can see this building behind me here, and then this big building over here. These are not normally here. They actually build these on site for the race and deconstruct them. It's like the VIP area for people who somehow get in there, probably corporate sponsors and whatnot. That's where they get to go. Us poor folk got to walk around, but pretty awesome. Let's go take a look.
So here in front of Audi, we'll take a look at a couple of their race cars. Just get to take a look at some airflow management. Really get an up close and personal look. These are the LED panels for the position in the race. Swan neck adjustable wing. Swan mount rather. And so they had 3 cars here. This one was an interesting one. This is a homologated car you can buy direct. It's approved for several series. And it's really well executed, very clean looking car, make you want to drive it on the street maybe.
Yeah, so look what AMG builds, like a massive building, right? They just build it for the weekend. Crazy.
Well, and it's an absolutely superb man. Yes, this is the ST lead. As far as
Alright, so I went back to the car. I had to get my corral pass here. We'll go check out the Corvette corral. I'm actually allowed into that one, so that's where we're headed. And as you can see, we get a tent. Corvette puts up a tent, you know what I mean? But it's alright, it's alright. It's all good fun. We don't need a big building like AMG, right? So I'm going to head in the tent. Oh, the excitement of the Corvette tent.
So the real advantage to being in the Corvette corral or Porsche corral and buying a ticket for that is that you have a place to go during the race, basically to get in the shade. A lot of guys park their cars here. This is an additional fee. You can see there's quite a number of cars parked in here, and I just kind of walk around and take a look. Interestingly, I happened to catch a Carlisle Blue Grand Sport. I believe it was a 1-year only color from maybe 2013 if I recall, but I typically don't park in the Corvette corral for my own reasons, but I always like to take a look around and look at all the stock Corvettes.
Lots of Porsches here, so if you own a Porsche, you can obviously pay for the crowd ticket, and you can be here.
So with that concluded my Friday, and I will return on Saturday, so you will see the footage pick up here. I am driving outbound past a ton of campers. A lot of people camp out for this event. They actually stay, some of them up to 4 or 5 days. So we will return the next day here. So after a round of lint rolling because of our Husky, we are off.
What were you doing? Rolling your ass.
Rolling my ass.
Rolling it.
So the next day we did arrive about an hour into the race. We couldn't quite make it at the beginning. So it's a lot busier on actual race day versus the day prior. The crowd's much bigger, so we're going to be looking for a parking spot and taking you through the day.
Let's go by the fence.
plenty to do for all ages. These are great events. Definitely bring good shoes because you will be doing a lot of this throughout the time. But if you get tired,
then take the shuttle bus around. It'll take you around the whole racetrack.
So throughout the race, you can obviously bring a lawn chair and just kind of kick back and watch the race. You can sit in the corrals, watch the actual broadcast, or you can hit up the fan zone and you'll see all the manufacturers typically have cars, former race cars, things to sign up for, and obviously they show their product offerings because racing is marketing. Here I am at the Lexus booth getting a free pen, and you can fill your bag with various things and even see things like this Audi, a pretty iconic car in its own right. So speaking of iconic, we take a look at the Ford GT here. I look at some of the airflow management on this car, take some shots of the headlights and up close to the front splitter, some of the cooling and quirks of the Ford GT. And here we're looking at the GT350. I'm doing a couple quick shots here just to some of the details. And lastly, we take a look at real rarity, the Panos GTR1. This was actually called Sparky in this car.
Backing that up with another quick.
So again, you just pick various spots around the track and give it a watch, but as with most racing, inevitably this happens.
Wheel was the contact. Yep, contact coming out of the pit lane. And, well, eventually the rebellion comes to a halt at the top of the hill.
So of course we are actually down at the paddock at the time, and we have to take a look as the flatbed brings in the car, and we listen to the crunching carbon fiber as they pull this thing off. So at this stage of the race, the reason we were heading into the paddock was to go by the Corvette Racing pit. Corvette in this particular race was actually, if they finished, just basically finished the race, they were in position to win the championship for the year. So we were down there taking a look at some of their monitoring screens, and I was able to get a pretty good zoom shot of some of the things that they have. You can see they have a full track map showing the positions of the various vehicles in category, and they have the in-car feed. And a bunch of other telemetry, which I can go over here in just a minute. So here I have a pretty good shot of all the drivers in category. It shows obviously their lap times, number of laps, the gap behind the car in front of them. We'll get a pretty good zoom shot of some of their telemetry. They have crankcase pressure, oil levels. You can see the actual live RPM view. Fuel in the tank, they have a fuel flow rate. Speed, you can see the tire pressures here on the lower left. They're pretty down to the 10th decimal position. They update pretty quickly, as you can see. You have some cockpit temperature, things for the air conditioning system. So here at this point, they are about to pit, and one of the guys on the crew comes to my girlfriend and says, "Hey, give me your cell phone, I'll shoot a video for you." And look what they shoot for her. It's epic. Thank you, Corvette Racing. That was pretty sick.
It's a 675 LT under the lock here. That's the beastie. That's the beastie one, Lace. Some nice paint. Hell of a color right there. Got some X-Bell on there. Titanium tips. Oh, that's nice. These big tunnels under there. Well, we're back in the Corvette Corral, and there's still a couple hours left, 3 hours. Let's see what happens.
So as the hours wear on and dusk starts to roll in, we decide to head over to the food trucks to get something to eat.
A little something for the video.
You just sweat out like 20 pounds of it.
Place has kebabs. Nom nom nom.
So after the quick bite, we go to watch some glowing brake rotors coming down into turn 10. Some high-speed passes here approaching, and you know, everybody's got their campfires going. We go to get the car so that we can actually pull up towards the corral, so it's a little bit easier to get out of the track after the finish.
Got about 30 minutes left to the race, so we're gonna try and go see the finish.
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
our step record so far, and we're not even done yet. We're gonna be walking some more.
I do on average 6,000 steps at work.
Lace does 6,000 steps at work? Really?
Well, it's throughout the day, not just work. I figure I'm walking the most.
So with 15 minutes remaining, barring any issues from the number 3 Corvette, it does appear they were going to win the championship. So we start heading down to the paddock by the Corvette pit. Come across a few cars that didn't make it to the end, as is the nature of endurance racing. But here we come on the pit. As the clock ticks towards 0, the Corvette Racing team and all the fans gather around the monitors to watch number 3 bring home the championship. There's Danny Binks, Jan Magnuson, Doug Feehan, and all the team gathered around just hoping to get it that last couple miles. And then just like that, here we see Doug Feehan getting congratulations, congratulating the team on a hard-fought win through the season. And we see the Porsche and a Ford GTs, a couple cars filing in, and we're waiting for the number 4 Corvette.
Got this thing sneaking in stealth mode, I see. Lots of confetti down there, Lace said. So that wraps it up. Second place for the event, but got the whole championship. So we were there, 2017. Signing off, Lace.
See ya.
Go, Johnny, go now, go.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video. This is the first one I've put out. You know, I've been an automotive enthusiast for all of my life, and I've had several shops and built a lot of cars over the years, and I have a lot of footage dating back to probably 2008. And you know, I've really wanted to start a YouTube channel for quite some time, and finally just said, you know what, I just got to do it. So if you'd just be so kind as to give me a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to do a lot of different things that have to do with automotive events, driving roads. We're going to do it all around the country. I'm going to do the best I can and really shoot what I hope to be some really epic videos. I really want to do it for the community and for myself. So please, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do a lot more, and please subscribe and like. It's really much appreciated. Thank you so much.